Okay, I will admit I love this magazine so much. If I could, I would show you every single book, every single article. The video would probably take 5, 6 hours and then take a week to upload, or if I did it live. But if I did it live, there would have to be enough people. Because most of the time when I go live, there's nobody. The birds are chirping. So, anyways, I love to share my enthusiasm with you. Sometimes I'm like, just get a few books from each category. And sometimes I'm like, oh, but I like these. And I end up getting more. I'm like, oh, but I like that one too. And I want to show that one. I want to take that one. And I end up with the Leaning Tower of Pisa books. So please join me as we go through all of my favorite authors in here. All of these books. There's 312. There was an awful lot to choose from. There were some I missed. Like I said, I would like to do each and every one, but that video would take hours upon hours. Um, a couple of years ago, it wasn't last year. I think it was the year before last when I very first started this. Um, it was an October issue. That's what I think it was October. I forget what year, 10 or 11. It was a couple of years ago that I did when I first started this. I tried an experiment. It took me 2 days to do it. And I can't remember how many days to upload. But I broke the magazine down into pieces. I did the Regency, then I did inspirational and contemporary and sci-fi and paranormal. I did them each in pieces. So I released like 10, 13 videos, did each one in pieces to see if that, and people told me they preferred it just in the big large chunk. That's why I went back to doing the, besides the little pieces was just like were just too much to deal with anyway. But there's one piece out there, the inspirational piece, that has never been seen by anybody. For whatever reason, YouTube chose not to show it to anyone. And I have to make an effort to pull it up too. Are you coming up here? Are you gonna come up? Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, child. Smokey. Smokey. She didn't get her brushing today. We had something else to do this morning, and then she disappeared, so she didn't get her brushing. So she's anxious for her brushing. Oh, and by the way, welcome to the D. Louise book series. If you could possibly hit the like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. No, 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 walking on top of the books. All right. Regency. Let's see if I got them all. Um, Anna Campbell, What a Duke Dares. And I've decided, I'm gonna do a couple of them. I may do 5 or 6 of them. Naked guy on the cover! Seems to be the motto. Naked guy on the cover. What a Duke Dares. Anna Campbell, 4.5 stars. Oh, by the way, for the record, I only do books with 4 or 4.5 stars. Every once in a while, we'll throw in a 3, and I'll make a point of it and say why. Campbell's vibrant voice rings out in another touching, humorous, and utterly delightful story. Her multi-dimensional characters' dialect sparkle with wit and sensuality blazes across the page. No one would turn down a proposal from Camden Rothmere, Duke of Sedgemoor, except his childhood friend, Penelope Thorne. She knows the good, the bad, and the truth of him. She also realizes marrying her would ruin his family's reputation. So she runs off to the continent and Cam tries to forget her. Then her brother's dying wish sends Cam to bring Penelope home. To keep everything above board, Cam suggests they pose as husband and wife. But one kiss opens Pandora's box. Oh, how are you? I didn't bring my box of tissues. My nose is starting to go up. Nope. I gotta go get a box of tissues. Ah, um, Susan McCarty's The Arrow. Now I have a bunch of these, and I stood there looking at my shelf, going, where is this book? It should be on this book. I did this series a while ago, and when I did it, I was heavily data entering, and so I did it through audiobooks. And I like the narrator too. All right, that's Anna Campbell's book. That's not the. Well, it's not here. I wrote down this page, but it's not here. There's no picture. So let's just, maybe it'll show up. Oh, there it is. Naked guy on the cover. I'm gonna do a naked guy on the cover thing. Oh, I also want to do, I gotta do a survey. I gotta figure out how to do a survey first of all. But I want to do a survey. Um, this magazine deals with a whole bunch of books that I haven't mentioned previously. Um, so I was thinking about doing an M&M if then, and an FF if then, and an MFM if then, and uh an E if then. I was thinking about doing those two, but I wasn't sure how they would go off. And a BDSM FM thing. I just I was 20 or 30 years ago. It was easier, but being an old lady now. All right, so where was I? Oh, the Arrow, naked guy on the cover. The Highland God come to life as McCarty fills his tales with historical accuracy and moving romance. This is the ninth book in this series. Expert marksman Gregor Arrow McGregor is key to the King Robert the Bruce's plan to retake his British-occupied castle. But when exposure sends him home to lay low, he faces a new challenge in his ward. Kate of Lochmaben. He rescued Kate from a certain death when British soldiers raided her village. Now, 5 years later, she's a grown woman who loves him. However, Gregor can't quite come to grips with her maturity and his feelings for her. Aww. Susan Wiggs, Maiden of Ireland. The beauty, mystery, history, and myths of Ireland are woven into a wondrous tapestry as Wiggs creates an unforgettable romance. John Wesley Hawkins narrates Escape's dying as Hedrick when Lord Protector Oliver Cromwell intervenes. In exchange for his life and that of his daughter, Wesley is to unmask the leader of Fianna, the Irish resistance. One day, Caitlin McBride wishes for true love. In the last glow of the sunset, she buys a man walking on the beach below her home. Clanmore Wesley will lie, cheat, and seduce to get the information he needs. Aww. Victoria Roberts, My Highland Spy. Naked guy on the cover. 4.5 stars. Roberts' newest features a surprising, laden, quick-paced plot, replete with unconventional and fiercely independent characters. The king fears that Laird Rua Sutherland is plotting against him, so he sends spy Ravina Walsingham to act as a governess to the Laird's son. Ravina arrives in the Highlands using a false name, and is much to her surprise, Summerland speaks perfect Indian. Lavina comes to respect Rui for his kindness and his fairness. It's easy for Rowena to fall in love with him because she shows both tenderness and love to his family. As both become aware of their mutual feelings, they wrestle with their loyalties. See what happens next. Um, Alicia Cornwell. What a lady most desires. The guy on the cover. That's good. Elegant, sleek. 4 stars. With the Battle of Waterloo and its aftermath setting the stage, Cornwell pens a dramatic story of war and revenge. She doesn't skip on descriptions of horrors of battle or the sacrifice that and love that comes from tragedy. With Delphina St. James waltzing in the arms of Major Lord Stephen, Ives wonders when he'll be called to fight. Daphne can think of nothing but being in the arms of the man she has secretly loved for years. Their goodbye kiss lingers on her lips. Then Stefan is severely wounded, rendered blind and surly. Daphne nurses him back to health. She is his light, and when he is accused of cowardice and theft, Daphne stands by him. Ah, absolutely stand by your man. What's the matter there, Chicky? Hmm. She's a good girl. Um, this is another author that I went over to the bookcase and stood there and looked, and I'm like, why don't I have you? About 20 years ago, I used to buy mass market paperbacks like they were going out of style. In fact, I'll give you a secret. The shop where I work, or actually don't work, volunteer, we sell them for 20 cents. 6 for $1 this week. Um, but it's rarely one of my authors come through. Purple. Liz Carlisle, the lady in purple. Carlisle forays into the erotic as a wealthy wounded aristocrat and a native young woman venture into the world of BDSM. Just what we were talking about. The Earl of Heppelwood is used to women falling at his feet, so when Isabel Adris interviews for the position of governess, he's shocked when she slaps him and refuses his outrageous proposition. Isabel's dire strait leads her back to Heppelwood, ready to barter her body for protection. Isabel may appear to be bold, but she is naive and doesn't understand what the Earl desires. Okay. I see, said the blind man. Okay. Okay. Um, hey, Charlie wanted you to clean the boxes. You didn't clean the boxes. This always bothers me. So, this is the cover of the paperback. This is the cover of the large print. I hate when they do two different covers. What page was this? She's one of my authors. I like her. She's written some really good stuff. Really good. This only got 3 stars. Um, but she's one of my favorite authors. Not Quite a Wife, Mary Jo Putney, 3 stars. The Lost Lords have garnered Putney many fans, but even her die-hard readers may find her latest less powerful and engaging than her previous novels. Though the heroine is young, she is too quick to condemn and more judgmental than readers have come to expect from Putney. James Lord Kirkland owns a shipping fleet, half a London gaming house, and is ruthlessly effective spymaster. He is seldom self-indulgent except when it comes to the gentle, indomitable beauty who was once his wife. Laurel Herbert gave James her heart as innocent young girl until she saw him perform an act of shocking violence before her eyes. That night she left her husband and he let her go without a word. Now 10 years later, a chance encounter turns passionate. Will they get back together? It's a romance novel. They get back together. Sorry. All right. Now, all of you peeps out there, there's this really hot, hot show. Massively, massively hot show. You're coming out of your skin for the show. They've got books, they've got videos, they're on Stars now. There's merchandise, there's tours, people are going to the sites where they did the filming, they're going to the proposed landmarks, they're going to Scotland, they're traveling over there to see all the stuff. They promoted um uh Scotland, and they promoted the castles, and they promoted everything. They gave people thousands of jobs and all this kind of stuff. The lead actor was saying that on one of the award shows, how many people they gave jobs to and how much tourism they've promoted for the town. Well, it started with a book. Let's see. This is book. Oh, and by the way, they're coming out with a prequel too. Oh, shoot. My name. I put my name in here. Wait a second. Let me cover this up. I must have taken it to read on traveling. There's a family tree there. My my neighbor passed away. He was a hermit. He passed away 6 months ago, and the contractors are starting next door. They had to gut the whole place. His living condition. I don't know why his family. Yes, ma'am. Why his family let him live the way he did. Because they have money. They have quite a bit of money. So I have no idea why they let him live in the conditions he did, but he lived in horrible, deplorable conditions. So they had to gut the entire house. Mold in some places, animal stuff and everywhere. The man never cleaned a litter box the last 6 months of his life. Um, it was just so there's lots of banging going on next door. I didn't know how bad his conditions were. I could sit at his front door and the odor would hit you in the face. But I hadn't been in the house in 20 years, so I have no idea what it really was like. I only saw it after it was gutted, and that was only from a door. I didn't venture in. It was just. But anyways, back to our favorite series. Written in my own heart blood. 4.5 stars. What can one say about a book we have been waiting 5 years to read? You know, look how big this book is. And look how small the font is. You know, that's another issue that I have. Especially if an author leaves a book at a cliffhanger. What happens if you're in a car accident the next day? What happens if the author's in a car accident the next day? No one writes as fast as Patterson, and we all know that Patterson uses ghostwriters. Not ghostwriters, but he'll have Johnny Smith write a book. This is just my opinion, my hypothesis. And then Patterson will edit it or add some stuff to it. And then Patterson's name will go on the bottom. The guy's name will go on the Patterson here. The guy's name here. He's putting them out almost weekly to this point. But anyways, I have some authors. My JD Robb, she puts out 5 books a year. She used to put out 6, but it's been 5 for the last 10 years or so. She does 2 JD Robbs and 3 Norris. Norris is always written in trilogy. Miss Laurel up there. Well, it's gonna be 4 years before we get the next Anita Blake. I can see it now. We're getting a Mary, but she's still editing Mary, so it could be a while for Mary too. So, anyways, back to Miss Diana Gabaldon. She does interviews. I wish my organization would get her to come do an interview. I guest speaker role. Um, few couples have engendered the devotion of readers the way Jamie and Claire have, and Gabaldon has created another sweeping novel full of history, epic adventure, and romance. With its complicated plots and twists and turns, as well as a large cast of characters, written in my own heart blood is brilliantly divided into 8 sections that perfectly dovetail together. In 1778, the Americans can see victory in their grasp, but Claire Fraser's trouble is just beginning. The husband she thought dead, has returned to find she has married his friend Lord John. Claire can never love anyone as she does Jamie, but she wed to save his life, to her life. Then there's the shock Lord John's sons receive when he discovers Jamie is his biological father. Ian's Jamie's nephew is facing his own crisis. His love for Quaker Rachel is complicated when his cousin sets his sights on her. Meanwhile, in 1980, Jamie and Claire's daughter Brianna is fighting off a mobster who may have kidnapped her son Jem, and Roger travels back in time to find the boy. They just did this was season 7. They just did this on the show. They just did that. All right. So we are going to leave historical romance, Regency for inspirational. All right. Mary Connolly, tried and true. A little cowgirl going on there. Uh, 4 stars. Connolly spins a Civil War era romance with book 1 of the Wild at Heart series. Her feisty female characters win our hearts and give us another view on a family relationships. The readers of this series will be taken to the rugged Rockies, where a woman's place is debatable. The homesteaders of Aspen Ridge are seeking to claim their part of the beautiful Rocky Mountains. The Wild family stakes 4 claims, but then they are called into question by land agent Aaron Masterson. The Coulter Ranch likes to run its castle onto these claims, so the course is quite a bit of friction. Mysterious attacks on the Wild's family youngest homesteader start an intense investigation into the clues that are left behind near the cabin. Um, A Light in the Wilderness. This 4.5 stars. This heartwarming, stirring historical novel has romance, mystery, and adventure. Characters are sweet, charming, and strong, witty, and looking for their places in the world. Letitia Carson has one piece of property that she holds on to, papers proving she is not a slave. Davy Carson is on his way to Oregon and has asked her to trust him and come along. Nancy Hawkins does not want to leave her settled life, but she loves her husband more. They travel west with heart-wrenching decisions along the way. Betsy knows she's among the last of her tribe. She helps those who pass by on their way to unknown places. She wants nothing more than her grandson to carry the ways of the Capucha Indians. Will Letitia, Nancy, and Betsy find their true paths, or will their trail to freedom be an illusion? Hmm. Um, Finding Love at Home. 4 stars. The final book in the Beeler Sisters trilogy does a fine job tying up all the loose ends. All the characters that fans have come to love are back. But the heart of the story centers around Ida Beeler, who is trying to move in after the tragic accident that killed her husband to be, and recent convert Debbie, who is still earnestly longing for a future with her former Alvin Knapp. Ida Bella may have lost her husband to be, but she's determined to provide his children with a loving home, and a new suitor may be just the key. Debbie has finally found where she belongs in the Amish community, but things aren't quite working out the way she hoped for. Amish former Alvin Kemp. Alvin is harboring self-doubts and his relationship with Debbie and his parents. Disapproval is not helping the situation. I hope they get together. I hope it's a happy ending. Wonderful Lonesome. Olivia Newport. Four stars. This new historical series has a love story, intrigue, and spiritual upheaval with well thought out and emotional diverse characters. Abby Weaver is not giving up like others in her small, struggling Amish community in the harsh plains of Elbert County, Colorado. They have not had a bishop for a long time, which means they have had no church service. With the drought and coyotes, some families are leaving to find a better way. Jake Heat, while a Mennonite minister, isn't trying to convert anyone. He is just there for whoever's questions and to help them understand their beliefs better. If they decide to hear him preach in the Mennonite church, that is up to them. See what happens. Oh, it's the desire. Mr. Walsh. Uh, Four stars. Strong, courageous characters, particularly Christina, abound in the latest installment in the Restoration series, and sometimes impossible for those in the westernized world to understand the poverty exists in other countries. The authors clearly portray this in many heartbreaking scenes. Michelle longs for a child. Infertility issues have made that dream impossible. Her husband Alan is focused on his mission work with orphans in Africa. He has no idea how difficult these things are for Michelle. Christina is alone and pregnant. She is faced with becoming a single mother or putting her baby up for adoption. See what happens there. Lynette Eason, nowhere to run. Now, tell me something. Does this look like an inspirational book to you? Four stars. The next installment of Easton's Hidden Identity series is a thrill ride from start to finish. She has a first-rate ability to write twisting plots that keep the reader guessing the identity of the true villain until the very end. There are a couple of plot points that are quite obvious to the reader, yet law enforcement doesn't figure them out until very late in the story. Danny Harding has finally garnered enough courage to take her young son and escape her abusive marriage to FBI agent Ryan. Yet things don't go as smoothly as planned. In a separate incident, Ryan ends up being killed. Ryan's brother Stuart has long been obsessed with Danny, and now his obsession turns to stalking. Would you please tell me where this comes from inspirational? I didn't hear God mentioned anywhere. And Suzanne Woods, Christmas. A 3-star book, but it was Suzanne, so we thought I'd give it up. This charming novel pulls readers into Rosehill Farm and the relationship development. While there is a glimpse of the Amish simplicity and different ways of living, this is not the focus of the story. Instead, readers feel connected and interested in the characters' lives, relating to them despite the differences in lifestyle. When Billy Lapp returns to Rosehill Farm to examine an unknown rose, he hopes to be in and out without making much contact with those who live in the Amish town nearby. However, when he realizes his ex-girlfriend Bess is the one who called him, life is thrown back into turmoil, and the feelings he had been pushing down for the past year begin to reemerge. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. All right. Um, Sci-fi. We have a single sci-fi. We had a hard time trying to get these. Um, there is a whole article on Mr. Scalza here. I can find it. I love this magazine. There we go. The whole thing. Mr. Scalza and his book. Lock in 4 stars. Scalz's latest standalone delivers a heaping dose of social commentary exploring the impact politics has on those lives relying on government funding. The realm of Lotkin vast, and although some details become muddled, and readers must work to keep up with the story's wild pace. In the near future, millions of people have died due to a global flu-like virus. Somebody heard of COVID? Um, with some of the victims exhibiting Hayden's syndrome and 1% of the world's population locked in, alive, and mentally capable, for physically paralyzed, forcing them to use robot-like threeps to move around. The FBI's newest agent, Chris Shane, is one of them. He's putting to the test when a Hayden-related death faces him and his burned-out partner, Leslie Van, to investigate. You gotta do that. See, that doesn't sound sci-fi to me. Traveling planet to planet, that sounds sci-fi to me. Um, Another guy who's a contributor with sci-fi, but to me, he's horror. He is massively horror. Um, Romantic suspense. Um, oh, niggers. There's a whole equal. Let's be equal here. So let's do this. We did him. Forgive her equal rights. Excellent. 4.5 stars. Negus delivers another spellbinding, chilling, complex page turner in the latest Sharp and Donovan novel. The jet lag hasn't even subsided for newly engaged FBI agents Emma Sharp and Colin Donovan when they have a new murder to investigate. It is seemingly connected to their ongoing investigation of a decade-old art crime spree that spans an ocean and involves both their FBI division and Sharp Fine Art Recovery, Emma's family business. The deeper they dig, the more complications arise and the wilder the crime net becomes. Suddenly, the lines between friends and subjects narrow, and agents working both stateside and abroad rush to find the culprit before another crime is committed. Aaron Robards, The Last Whisper. 4.5 stars. Robards is back with the third installment in her Dr. Charlotte Charlie Stone novels featuring the unlikely crime duo of a ghost seeing Charlie and the ghost of a convicted killer, Michael Garland. Robart does an outstanding job providing a mystery thriller that is truly creepy and dangerous. Additionally, the unconventional romance between Charlie and sexy bad boy Michael continues to evolve. Charlie's day goes from bad to worse when she is bitten during an interview with a serial killer. Then Michael's ghost comes under attack from a hunter. Charlie barely manages to save Michael with the help of her medium friend Tam, but the danger still lurks. Then Charlie's help is requested by FBI agent Tony Bartelli. Fellow Fed Lena Karmiski's sister has disappeared in Las Vegas and may be the victim of the serial killer. See what happens there. Midnight Betrayal. Somebody explain to me what a flower has got to do with a midnight betrayal. 4 stars. Fans of suspense will get a kick out of Lee's latest, guaranteed to produce tingles down the spine and a rapid pulse, which will accelerate for the duration of this engaging novel. The numerous plot twists will surprise readers and have them trying to untangle the mystery between Connor and Louisa, who are so lively and animated that most won't want their story to end. After being fired from her job in Maine due to artifact thefts on her watch, Dr. Louisa Hancock flees Philadelphia and accepts a job at the Livingston Museum of Archaeology. As she begins to settle in, one of the interns is found dead. The brutal murder refocuses attention on Louisa, then another intern goes missing, and she's shocked to learn that the sports bar owner, Connor Sullivan, is linked to the abduction. Connor is the only man who's recently seen the true Louisa, and she refuses to believe he's guilty of the crime. And the past comes back to haunt her, too. So we shall see how that goes. Ah, mercy. BJ Daniels. Mercy. Only 3 stars. In Back to Beartooth, Montana, the fifth in the series, while the mystery keeps the plot moving along at a fairly steady pace and the characters captivate, the overfamiliarity of a waitress who can read minds may disappoint readers. Sookie Stackhouse does it better! U.S. Marshal Roy Kincaid decides to go rogue when he can't get a cold case off his mind. A serial killer has sprung up in the Northwest, and he's the only one making an unusual connection. Going deep undercover in the remote town of Beartooth, Rourke encounters Callie Westfield, his suspect and his preoccupation. When the grisly murders start up again, he finds himself struggling with his instincts. See what happens there. On to mainstream fiction. Queen Bee Goes Home Again. Haywood Smith's 4.5 stars. This sequel to 2000 Queen Bee of Minosa Branch is an uplifting story focusing on fresh starts and forgiveness with a heavy dose of humor. Readers will enjoy the encouraging journey illustrating that you've never too old to find your way in life or to find true love. Linwood Scott finds herself in dire straits once more. Her work in real estate falls through due to economy, and her ex-husband's alimony payments abruptly stop. Neither he nor his new wife, a former stripper, can be found. Lynn lands back in the one place she never thought she'd return to, Minnesota Branch, Georgia, in a garage apartment. Things have changed, though 10 years have passed since the last time she was in town. Her daddy and uncle are suffering from Alzheimer's and are living in a home, and her mother, Mamie, is just barely holding it all together. To see the moon again. 4.5 stars. Turner's newest book is gorgeously written and full of emotional impact. This is a spiritually rich story, but it doesn't feel forced as the spiritual element is delicately woven throughout the tale. Julia Rich does not know what she will do while on sabbatical from her college teaching job. Trying to move forward over the past few years has been difficult with the sudden loss of her husband. When she discovers that her young adult niece Carmen is on her way to visit, Julia's life is thrown into a tailspin. Everything in her carefully constructed way of living is about to be turned on its head. Some people have OCD and they can't handle change, and it. I have a person in my household. If the pen is supposed to be here, it needs to stay here. If you put the pen over here, the world is ended. There's no explanation for it. That's just the way it is. Um Annette Delgado, the clairvoyant called Osho. 4 stars. Delgado, Miami, Calo Ocho in Little Havana to life with a fun, engaging read. After 2 unsuccessful marriages, Maria Estevez Valdez decided to protect her heart and only have affairs with married men, including her upstairs tenant Hector. When Hector is found dead in the nearby park in the morning after she gives him an angry breakup letter, Marielle stimulates her dormant psychic abilities to help her solve the mystery surrounding his death. Okay. And teen. I may do a teen video too at some point. This woman is hot, 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 hot today. And this is 2014. And her books are still hot as ever today. So this magazine has not gone out of style. This magazine is still current. These books are still current. Teens are still buying these books. People are still buying these books. She's still a very hot author today. Air of Fire, 4.5 stars, with a finely tuned pilot plot, colorful characters, and twist galore. Matt shines as a brilliant storyteller. Yes, ma'am. Kalina's quest to find answers in Wendelin proves to be more dangerous and challenging than she imagined. As she trains and learns to accept her true identity and destiny, Calo and Durian turn to unlikely sources to protect Kalina, their people, and themselves, but with danger lurking in unexpected places who will come out virtuous. See what happens. I'm telling you, these books are still popular today. Um, I saw this one. I think I saw this one. Uh, nope. Hmm. Wait a second. So, I don't have this one, and there is no picture of it in here. So, I thought I would spoil it and do a future book. We'll just hold this one up. The Stolen Heir. And the company puts their sticker in the middle of the book like that, in the middle of the description. You know, they could have put it down here, but no, they had to put their sticker in the middle. 8 years have passed since the Battle of Serpent, but in the icy north, Lady Nor of the Court of Teeth has reclaimed the Icy Needle Citadel. There she was using an ancient relic to create monsters of stick and snow who will do her bidding and exact her revenge. Lord, Lord, Miss Holly. This one is The Iron Trail. Holly Black and Cassandra Clare got together. 4.5 stars. Paranormal powerhouses Black and Claire successfully combine their talents in this exciting fantasy. Columns Hunt's always been on outside of warned by his father that magic is terrible danger, and those who teach it to the magisterium will cause his death. Nonetheless, Cal doesn't throw the entrance exam and admitted to the school, finding something he's never had before: friends. It's always nice to have friends. All right, on to mystery. And I will tell you, I overdid it in the mystery section. It happens to be my favorite section. Well, except for paranormal, of course. Paranormal. All of this is paranormal. What are you doing? What are you doing, Missy? Hello, Miss Smokey. Is you sleepy? Is you sleepy? Is you sleepy? All right. And figures the first book of the day is on the bottom of the pile. Dog! Death of a Dog Whisperer, Laurie Berenson. And we've done her a few times. She's shown up in a few if-thens. So check out all those if-thens. And don't forget while we're at it, I should have mentioned it earlier when we were doing the Regencies. But we are reading Stephanie Lawrence for the next couple months on Saturdays. And we read Sunny Bono the other day too, so go check those out. I've got to find that video. What am I gonna find? Oh, Patriot. I knew there was something to find. Okay. Death of a Dog Whisperer, Laurie Berenson, 4.5 stars. What makes a great cozy mystery a heroine? An interesting setting with the details about career, community, friends, and enemies, and a tangled mystery and exciting ending. Melanie Travis is having a busy summer in Connecticut with 6 champion poodles, a failing new marriage, and her demanding Aunt Peg. Melanie has plenty to do, but when Nick Walden, shown up as an unexpectedly gifted dog whisperer, is killed, his sister begs Melanie to take the case. Miss Dodd, Virtue Falls. 4.5 stars. Mega talented Dodd returns with a truly stunning work of mystery, danger, and romance. Dodd enhances his new role with a ghastly preference. Heroine Elizabeth Bennet is brilliant, prickly, and damaged by tragedy, but also utterly compelling. For more than 2 decades, geologist Elizabeth Banner believed that her father murdered her mother. Misty Elizabeth has returned to Virtue's Fall for a project, and there, when a massive earthquake and tsunami occur in a manner predicted by both her and her father's work, the earthquake uncovers Misty's missing bones. Elizabeth's ex-husband, disgraced FBI agent Gark Jabison, races to Virtue Falls to house Elizabeth in the aftermath. When another killer strikes. We're gonna talk about this guy in another if then. The Six Extinct, 4.5 stars. In this continuation of his Sigma Force series, Roland's plot weaves together terrorist, man against nature, and historical facts. Plenty of action, and a touch of romance. Readers will encounter a story so terror-laden and adrenaline-pumping that before bedtime, reading before bedtime may be hazardous to your health. Sigma Force director Painter Crow and his fiancée and fellow operative Lisa postponed their upcoming wedding when called to investigate an unimaginable disaster. A remote California military research station explodes shortly after broadcasting a distress call saying, "Kill us all." Lisa stays in California to deal with the medical fallout, while Painter travels to Brazil tracking a mad scientist, and Commander Grace Pierce team battles mercenaries and prehistoric creatures in Antarctica. Interesting. Um, Murder 101, Miss Kellerman. Master storyteller Kellerman reboots her long-running Peter Decker Rena Lazarus series. Retired from LAPD, Decker is now working for the police department of the sleepy college town of Greenburgh. Transplanting Decker allows Kellerman to bring new characters and new vibe to this outstanding series. The move to upstate New York has allowed Decker and Rena to be closer to their adult children. Decker is struggling with irritation at his new partner, Tyler McAdams, a trust fund baby who wanted to check out police work on a whim. The first real crime Decker and Tyler center is a possible break-in at a local cemetery. They discovered that the mausoleum Tiffany panels have been replaced with forgeries. So they have to investigate. Um, oh, I missed. Maybe I didn't. Um, okay. Oh, I didn't. I didn't. The Long Way Home, Louise Penny, 4 stars. Penny's skill at developing quirky, complex, and fragile characters is once again in display in this continuation of her Inspecting Gamache series. The rich description of villages and countryside will have you wishing for a trip to Quebec. Chief Inspector Gamache has retired and moved with his wife to the rural village of Three Pines, where they are enhanced in a tight, caring community. When Clara Gamache, neighbor, shares her concerns for her missing husband, Peter Gamache joins Peter's team to track Peter's long-year wanderings, and their search culminates in a journey into the wilds of northern St. Lawrence, where they confront a madman. All right. All right. If you know me, you know. And I'm trying to figure out a way to do it again. I'm going to do it again because I need to read these books. I need to read these books, and I read them every year, and I read them completely through every year. And there'll be a new one out. We just had one out in February. There'll be a new one out in September. And I should start a reread now. Maybe doing quotes or something. I did the reviews. I've read them all and did full on reviews. This is my series. This is my go-to series. When I don't have a book to read, this is it for me. This number one author. I love my Eve Dallas and Rourke and Somerset and Feeney and Galahad and Mira and Dr. Mira and Whitney, Nadine Peabody, her partner, McNabb, Peabody's life partner, but he's also detective in EDD. Feeney is head of EDD. He's captain of EDD. He was Eve's first mentor in the series. We've got Nadine the reporter and writer now. Mavis Freestone and her husband Leonardo. We're hoping number 2 comes soon. It's been like 5 or 6 books now, and it's just she's a lieutenant in the New York Police and Security Department. We solve a murder mystery each book, but the characters progress, and I love the character progression. And that is one of the reasons why I got into the Fiona Buckley series, because it was working. But then, of course, uh, Miss Buckley, that's Arnand, I forget how you say it, passed away, and that was the end of that one. I also read Janet Ivanovich. I like the character progression from book to book to book. They solve a mystery each book. But so you'll have to go check out all my reviews, all 60 of them. And I love Christmas. Eve hates parties, but she's getting the hang of it. 4 stars, festive in death. It is the season for holidays and murder in the next installment of Rob's incomparable death series. Although she is still not particularly comfortable with holidays and all they represent, Lieutenant Eve Dallas is getting better at shopping for gifts and being a party host, from a kick-ass murder cop to society hostess. Personal trainer Trey Ziegler was the prime epitome of love him and leave him when it came to women until he was murdered. Oh, this is Trina. This is Trina. Eve is petrified of Trina. There's a stain on my book. Oh, that's the price tag. Let me take that off. Trina. This is the book that Trina and her girlfriend find Trey dead in the apartment. This is Trina. I know these books by heart. Come read them with me. Please go watch all my J.D. Robb series. All of them. All of them. I love my Eve Dallas. We already read this. I love these books. I can read these books forever. Personal trainer Trey Ziegler was in peak physical condition if you didn't count the knife in his well-toned chest. And hanging from it was a note. Santa says, "You've been bad. Ho, ho, ho." I love my Eve Dallas. Love my Eve Dallas. All right. We gotta move on. Um, Kay Hooper. Haunted. Four stars. Sometimes evil will not stay dead, which is certainly the case in Hooper's new installment of her chilling Bishop SCU series. Clever Hooper continues to use her rotating cast of physically gifted characters as well as adding in new recruits so that each book reveals new details about a variety of protagonists. A real bonus for this book is the inclusion of one uniquely gifted dog. Sheriff Tiffany Nichols instinctively realizes there is something wrong with the mysterious death of one of her local gang of friends. SCU agent Deacon James heads to Sociable, Georgia, because his younger sister Melanie called regarding the murder. Separately, Bishop sends Holly Templeton and Reese DeMarco to the town in belief that a serial killer is heading that way. Serial killers. And this is a series that I am seriously thinking about getting into. I'm not sure how I feel about the skeleton though, but we'll see. The skeleton takes about 4 stars. The quirky and delightful family skeleton series continues as an English professor and a single mom, Georgia Thackeray, and her sidekick skeleton Sid are back solving a possible murder. This mystery moves effortlessly with good plotting, amusing dialogue, and a suspenseful and funny ending. Against her better judgment, Georgia Thacker allows her teenage daughter Madison to use Sid's head in a school production of Hamlet. Sid, the family skeleton, is the status for his acting debut. When Madison accidentally leaves him overnight, he hears a murder, but the murderer cleans up before the crime is discovered. Georgia takes a part-time position at the high school to uncover clues. As they get closer to unmasking the killer, Georgia realizes her life is in danger, and even worse, so is her daughter's. If you haven't seen this series on Amazon Prime, Mr. Reacher, Mr. Jack Reacher, my husband is enjoying the heck out of this series. Mr. Camera Shy. 4 stars. Child's 19th Reacher novel keeps its loner hero busy doing the unusual, busting heads, dodging bullets, figuring out angles, and avenging. The weary first person observations are delight. This is the 20th book. Somebody took a shot at President of France, and the main suspect is a sniper whom Jack Reacher arrested 15 years ago. John Knott is out of jail now, and his whereabouts are unknown. Shadowy military and government types enlist Richard to find Knott. All on the quiet, of course, and whatever it takes, a young and untested agent, Casey Nice, accompanies Reacher on the mission. And they probably get romantic too. And that is the end of mystery. I got so excited by Eve Dallas, I missed one. Lisa Jackson, close to home. 4 stars. Readers who enjoy chilling tales with an element of supernatural will find this fast paced novel difficult to put down. The mansion at the center of the story is as much of a character as the people living in it. Jackson blends a modern thriller and a romantic reunion with a haunted past that reaches into the lives of even the youngest characters. Let's see. Where was I? Following a divorce, Sarah Stewart decides to return with her 2 teenage daughters to her childhood home. The once beautiful mansion needs to undergo a large-scale renovation before Sarah and her siblings can sell it. Sarah sees the project as a way to come to terms with her troubled history, even if it means returning to the town and the ex-boyfriend of whom she vowed to leave for good. But Blue Peacock Manor and its ghostly past may be more than she can handle. Okay. Now on to contemporary romance. Uh, there we go. Susan Elizabeth Phillips. 4.5 stars. The release of a new Phillips novel is always reason to celebrate, but she really hits it out of the park with this one. Take one down on her luck heroine and send her to an isolated wintry island where former teenage nemesis awaits, and add in puppets and you have a class makings of a Phillips classic. Having used her savings, broke actress puppeteer Annie Hewitt's only option is to head to a tiny island off the coast of Maine in the dead of winter to stay in her mother's isolated cottage. Annie dreads returning because her memories of the island and Harp House mansion are ominous. It was there that her teenage Theo Harp betrayed Annie and maybe tried to kill her. It was just Annie's luck that the widowed horror author Theo has also returned on to work on his newest book. See what happens there. I didn't even Miss Second Chance author, Miss Chavez. Yeah, we'll just do hold them up. Okay, so Miss Chavez is here. And the lady in purple is Kristen Ashley. We're gonna do those two. Alright, so Jill Chavez. I just saw her. I just saw her. In his kiss, 4.5 stars. Chavez never ceases to amaze readers with her fun-loving, sultry romance, and this addition to Lucky Harbor series will knock your socks off. Jingling writer pianist Becky Thorpe decides to drop everything and flee New Orleans. Lucky Harbor seems to be an unfortunate choice at first until she meets sexy, grumpy surfer Sam Brody. He runs a business in the warehouse next door to her apartment, and she can't help but watch his every shirtless move. Ah, naked guy on the cover. Breathe. Kristen Ashley, 4.5 stars. Storyteller extraordinary Ashley's latest Colorado Mountain novel picks up after the events of Lady Luck. The potented blend of alpha hero and gutsy heroine mixed in with danger and romance all add up to another Ashley hit. Police Detective Chance Keaton helped take down all the dirty cops in his department and became a town hero. Librarian Faye Goodnight has had a serious crush on Chance for years, but never expects him to notice it. When they suddenly do connect, it flusters Faye to no end. Aww. Alright, let's move on to paranormal. Paranormal! Let's see what we got here. Playing with Fire, Cynthia Eden. And when I think of Miss Eden, I think of erotic books. Um, Playing with Fire, Cynthia Eden, 4.5 stars, a scorcher. With Playing with Fire, Eden gives her loyal fans a fantastic, perfect finale for the Phoenix Fire series, saving the most dynamic couple for last. Casey Armstrong is the daughter of a doctor who wanted to create super immortal soldiers by mixing human DNA with that of vampires and other supernatural beings. His first test subjects were his own children. Now an adult, Cassie is determined to wipe out the madness that he created by curing all of the experiments. The first order of business is to find the phoenix they call the immortal. Having just risen from another death, Dante hasn't got all of his memories back, but he feels there's something familiar about Cassie when they run into each other. Um, Forged by Desire. At least they got clothes on. Let's see. 4 stars. 4.5 stars. McMaster's London steampunk series continually grows more complex and fascinating. Go check out my steampunk if then. She's in there. Absorbing and intense fourth novel enticing her world, bringing the series to a turning point that will have fans clamoring for more. Captain Garrett Reed of the Nighthawks has been tasked with hunting down a monster who is preying on women, leaving him no choice but to use his partner in guard, Perry, as bait. But one look at Perry dressed to kill, and Garrett finds himself neatly caught in his own trap. Perry fled her life as a blood thrall, hiding behind her uniform and abrasive retorts to keep everyone at arm's length, including the partner she's loved for 9 years. Aww. Duval. Unbound. Night Unbound. 4.5 stars. From the start of Duval's outstanding Immortal Guardians series, there have been questions about Guardian leader Seth, his powers, and his origin. For centuries, Lisette, Alcon, and her brothers have been warriors fighting against evil vampires. Lisette rarely needs assistance, but the one time she did, a mysterious winged stranger saved her life. Now Lisette is dreaming of her sexy stranger, but he is wounded and being tortured. Proud loner Zach refuses to defend himself against the claim that he helped develop a new breed of super vamps. Aww. Alright already. Let's turn this a little. Alright. All the way down there. All the way down there. All the way over here. All these three long shells. All of these three long shells. Lord have mercy on those Carpathians. This is a Carpathian one. Yep. Carpathian. Christine Feehan, Dark Blood, 4.5 stars. As Feehan's incredible series has progressed, she has gifted readers with so many heroines who are resilient, powerful for these women using their gifts and testing their limits and snare that they are on the front lines of change and danger in the Carpathian world. The pairing of Lycan Zev Hunter with Brazilian of Dragon Seeker clan takes everyone by surprise. When Lycan warrior Zev Hunter is severely wounded during a critical battle and the only extraordinary measures taken by half-mage, half-Carpathian Branslavia anchor him to life. Despite the differences between them, Brands knows they are destined mates. As Zev awakens from his rebirth, he realizes his life is forever entwined with Brands's. There you go. Oh, I shouldn't do that. Forget. Ah, put that there, put that there. Okay. Um, I think I skipped one. We'll have to go back. We'll have to go back. But let's do this first. Angela Knight. Love Bites! 4 stars. This treasure trove of paranormal tales from the wickedly inventive Knight will delight fans of her mage-verse world, and her flair for imaginative scenarios and daring sizzling scenes will entice readers as well. Longtime readers and newcomers alike will find much to enjoy in these 4 novellas. Fans of Knight's magic verse will delight in seeing the powerful witch Morgana face the darkness of her past and her mounting desire for the dominant knights of the Round Table, specifically the powerful Percival. Other stories include the capture of female mercenary by 3 werewolves who would do anything to convince her that the surrender can be sweeter than she imagined. Oh, good God. Oh, good God. Put that away. Okay. Um. Oh, I missed this one. Do it again. I want to go back and do that other one. I seem to have missed it. And I want to go back and do it before I forget. Um. Not Dead-Handed. Carol J. Perry. 4 stars. The first in the Witch City series is a definite winner. The atmosphere, the mystery, delightful, spooky, and psychic elements add mystical touches that enhance the plot. Leo has returned home to Salem, Mass to interview for a reporter position at the local TV station. Leaving the station, Lee is lured by a ringing cell phone to a dead body of Ariel Constellation at the TV station call-in psychic. Lee is offered the job of call-in psychic out of her element. Lee thinks she can wing it until she realizes images appearing in the obsidian ball are coming true. Oh, good God. She's a fortune teller and she didn't know it. All right. Let's get back here. Um... But I didn't even look for this one. I should look for this one. All right, let's look. Let's do this other one real quick. Angie Fox, Beverly Hills Demon Slayer. What the hell? I'd like to look for the Christine Warren. I don't have it though. There's not even a picture of it. 4 stars. Although she finally got to marry her sexy Griffin Dimitri, Demon Slayer Lizzie Brown finds that her life is dangerously wacky as ever. Book 6 in the Fox Off-Beat and Hilarious Biker Witches series serves up all weirdness, danger, and expected madcap readers have come to expect. Stone Cold Lover, Christine Warren, 4 stars. The sophomore installment of the Warrens Gargoyle series features the same snappy dialogue and charming chemistry that marked her wonderfully imaginative debut series. Where is it? Oh, here we go. You know, she stopped, her and Charlene Harris both stopped writing a book 13. I think it's just an odd number to stop at, but they didn't. But thank God for us, she came back and Rachel is still going strong. There's been 6 or 7 books since. She's getting up there in books. But anyway, here we go. The Witch with No Name. 4.5 stars. Top pick. Throughout the amazing Harlow series, Day Walking Demon Rachel Morgan's journey of self-discovery has been fulfilled with every conceivable emotion and cast of amazing characters. Life has taken Rachel Morgan as a truly wild ride, one that's cost her friends, lovers, and family. Rachel is now determined not to let her BFF, living vampire Ivy, die and lose her soul. Fortunately, Master Vampire Ryan Carmel wants a resolution to the vampire soul problem now, or he will kill Ivy. The one thing going well in Rachel's chaotic life is her burgeoning relationship with Trent. And it's still there today in the newer books. I don't like it, but she's going with it. And I should leave it. There's a full page of Mosquito. Clockwork Dagger. And if you go and check our steampunk, you will see Miss Cato. The Clockwork Dagger. Steampunk fans should take note of this exciting new novel filled with airships, magic, and political intrigue. Often young Octavia has been learning to be a magician, a magic leader at the Tesmo Miss Percival Academy, and the breadth of her powers are incredible. Octavia is now about to head off on an assignment that will take her across the war-torn world. Shortly after boarding an airship, Octavia realizes she's under attack. Airship steward Alzano Garrett saves Octavia, but there might be more to him than meets the eye. See what happens there. Huh. I didn't even look for this one. Um, ugh, what is? I didn't even look. Shifting Shadows. 4.5 stars. For the first time, Briggs consolidates all of her brilliantly previously published short stories, as well as 4 brand new ones, all set in the amazing world of Mercy Thompson. The first new short story, Silver, is a tragic origin story of Samuel and Ariana, which tracks their initial fateful meeting. The new story, Roses in Winter, following up on what happened to the child Ware Kara after she was sent to Bran. Redemption gives fans' favorite Ben a chance to center stage as we get a peek in his day job. And the Hollow features Mercy herself as she's asked to use her special talents against particularly nasty. And that's the shadow shifting. Oops. There we go. Okay. Um, last one. The Winter Long, Sean McGuire. 4.5 stars. McGuire has never lacked for courage in her writing, and his eighth entry in the phenomenal, inventive October Day series showcases her narrative daring and intriguingly beautiful by forcing Toby to question her own identity and loyalty. McGuire highlights what a truly strong character Toby has always been and what a remarkable heroine she has become. Should we just. Oh, this chair weighs a ton. Okay. Sorry about all that. Octavia Day's life has never been an easy one, and the cost to secure her place in the Kingdom of Mist has been very high. For a bit, it seems she has finally earned a moment of peace and security until a single unexpected visit from an old foe throws everything to the wind. And that is the end of Paranormal. And, Seduced by the Air. You know, there's a Harlequin for everything. Seduced by the Air, Pamela Yeh. Alright, here's the whole book. Here's the whole page. They never do this one. Ever. They do these. And the one I'm reading is this one. Seduced by the Air. It got 4 stars. Raphael Moret runs into his college sweetheart Paris Sinclair at a friend's wedding 15 years after they went their separate ways. Though the millionaire has women falling at his feet, he's never gotten over his first love. Determined to reunite the flame, he sets out to seduce Paris and break up what was due to her father. Paris must decide if she will continue to let her father make her decisions or let her follow her heart. Follow the heart! Follow the heart! Um... 3, we don't want to do that. Ooh, 2. The rest of them are 2s. Yep, no good. We try not to do 2s. Let's see what's out here. Under E. Um, no. Lord Savage. Mia Gabriel, 4 stars. Gabriel's entertaining and titillating novel weaves a spell of debauchery just outside of London in 1907. Widowed American heiress Evelyn Hart arrives in London ready to escape harsh memories. Her hopes are dashed when she finds the lavish ballrooms filled with insipid young men after her fortune. Then she watches the Earl of Savage with a woman in the garden and is entranced. Mrs. Hart's social life changes after Viscountess Carley catches her spying and introduces her to Savage. Invited to a house party she decides to attend once she learns he will be there. The attendees are divided into protectors and innocents who engage in various sexual games. Ooh. Okay. Um, only got 3 stars. We won't do that. The rest of these are 2 stars. Okay. There we go. The end of September 2014. What'd you think? Did you find some new authors? Did you not find some authors? What shall we do? Have a good one.